Okay, let's talk about the oral mucosa. We're gonna classify oral mucosa into three different types. Okay, so the first one is gonna be the lining mucosa. The second time is gonna be the masticatory mucosa, and the third is gonna be the specialized mucosa. Okay, so the lining mucosa is going to be represented by four structures. We're going to call the buccal, the labial, and the alveolar mucosas. Also the ventral part of the tongue, the floor of the mouth, and the soft palate. The most important thing to know about the lining mucosa is that all those areas are composed of non-keratinized squamous epithelium. Remember, non-keratinized, that means there is no keratin in this epithelium. The masticatory mucosa we're gonna find in three areas. It's gonna be the attached gingiva. It's gonna be the hard palate. And also it's gonna be the dorsum of the tongue. Okay. By now I'm gonna just mention that the masticatory mucosa is a keratinized epithelium, and we have two types of keratinized epithelium. We're gonna call orthokeratinized squamous epithelium, and also we have the parakeratinized squamous epithelium, and later we're gonna see the difference. Okay. The specialized mucosa, the name says, is special. It has some special structures on this mucosa. Right now, you're not gonna get in details, but we're gonna find this type of mucosa in two areas: the dorsum of the tongue and also the lateral portion of the tongue. By now, I'm gonna just say that it's keratinized. But later you're gonna classify if it's ortho or parakeratinized. So right now you're going just to visualize the difference between the three types of oral mucosa. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the lining mucosa, and the lining mucosa, remember, is a non-keratinized squamous epithelium, and I'm gonna start drawing right here. So the first layer. So the first layer we're gonna call superficial layer. The superficial layer I'm gonna color in yellow. The layer right below we're gonna call intermediated layer, but before that, remember, we always have a basement membrane or basal layer separating the epithelium from the connective tissue. So this is gonna be our basal layer, and here in the middle we have our intermediate layer. And I'm gonna color the intermediate layer orange. That's gonna be our intermediate layer. Okay. Now, The basal layer, as I told you, remember, is going to separate the epithelium from the connective tissue. So right under, we always have a connective tissue. Remember, the epithelium does not have vascularization. So all vascularization comes from the connective tissue. So that's why you're always going to have connective tissue right under the basal membrane, okay? So all the vascularization is going to come from here. And in this case, we're going to call all the connective tissue under, we're going to call lamina propria. That's only on oral mucosa, remember, and review the other videos so we know what's the other names, okay? That's gonna be the lamina propria. And the lamina propria actually is composed of two parts. This part over here, that we have these interdigitations, we're gonna call papillary layer. And on the papillary layer is where we have blood vessels coming and delivering the nutrition and blood circulation, all the circulations over there, okay? That's the papillary layer. By the way, look how flat these interdigitations are, okay? Because you're going to compare with the other type of mucosa, and then you're going to see the difference. So the lamina propria is composed of this papillary layer where we have all this vascularization, but down here we also have dense connective tissue. Dense means it has more fibers, more collagen. Those are my fibroblasts over here. So right under, we're gonna have the submucosa, and remember the submucosa is like a cushioning, and is usually adipose tissue. Okay, so that's the submucosa. Okay, and I'm gonna color in brown because on the microscope they do have like a lining, a brown lining. So let's just color in brown. So the last layer in the lining mucosa is going to be composed of muscle, because remember, that's the buccal, labial, and alveolar mucosa, okay? It's the ventral part of the tongue. It's the floor of the mouth and soft palate, okay? Those are all composed of muscle. So those are my muscle cells, and I'm going to color in pink. So this is going to be the last layer. Okay, now I told you that's the lining mucosa, and the lining mucosa is a non-keratinized squamous epithelium. So there are two important characteristics for this epithelium. It's shiny and moist. Remember the location, buccal, labial, alveolar mucosa, so it's really moist. And that's it for the lining mucosa. Okay, so the second type of oral mucosa is gonna be masticatory mucosa. A masticatory mucosa can be orthokeratinized or parakeratinized. So let's start with the orthokeratinized, okay? So the very first layer, it says keratin. So the keratin is always on the superficial layer. It's the very first layer. So that's gonna be my keratin over here. Okay, so we have the keratin. Right under, we have layer of cells, which in this case we're gonna call granular layer. See, it changed the name from superficial layer to granular layer. And they call granular because of the shape of the cells over here. Okay, they look like granules. So the other layer which is called intermediated layer over here. We're gonna call in this side preco layer. But first I'm gonna draw my basal layer or basement membrane. And in this case, the basement membrane is very interdigitated. So I guess we can see the difference. This one was much more flat. Okay, remember we changed the name. This is the pre layer. Okay, this is still our basal layer. Basal layer, remember again, it is going to divide the epithelium from the connective tissue. I'm gonna use the same colors, but it changes name. Okay, we have the prick layer over here, we have the basement membrane, and of course right under we have connective tissue from where the vascularization comes from. The top part of the connective tissue or the lamina propria we're gonna call papillary layer, which is this layer I'm doing right now. And remember the papillary layer has blood vessels that comes with vascularization. So, and right under we have a dense connective tissue with lots of collagen fibers produced by the fibroblasts. And we still have your submucosa, which is again adipose tissue. And I'm gonna color these in brown as they look on the microscope. And there is one more difference over here. So look, masticatory mucosa is located on the attached gingiva, hard palate, and let's just not consider the dorsum of the tongue, okay? Those are bony structures, so instead of muscle over here, remember we're gonna have a bone, okay? And those are, remember, the lamellas of the bone. They are all here. Those is what is representing over here. Okay, bone. I'm going just to make green just to differentiate it. That's the bone. Okay. So basically, this is the structure of masticatory mucosa, but this is the ortho keratinized squamous epithelium. I'm gonna abbreviate it. So there is two characteristics of this epithelium which is really important. Is rubbery and resilient. Okay, rubbery and resilient. Okay. Okay. So saying that we're gonna do now the parakeratinized squamous epithelium, okay, which looks more or less like this. But let's draw again so we can memorize. Drawing helps memorizing. So the parakeratinized is gonna start also with a layer of keratin over here because they are keratinized. So that's gonna be my keratin. We also gonna have a granular layer over here. I'm gonna abbreviate everything because it's gonna be almost the same, so you guys know, you can read over here. So it's gonna be the yellow part. And then again, we have a huge interdigitations over here. And that's my basal layer. Okay, and here we have we're gonna have the prick layer. And I'm gonna color again in orange. Again, under the basal membrane, we always have connective tissue. In this case, we're going to call lamina propria. Lamina propria, again, is divided into papillary layer and also dense connective tissue layer. In the papillary layer, we have blood vessels coming. This is going to be our lamina propria. There is one difference over here. Right after the lamina propria, after the dense connective tissue over here, we don't have the submucosa. We're gonna have bone again. And that's one of the difference between orthokeratinized and parakeratinized. So over here we have the parakeratinized squamous epithelium, and this is also found in this specialized mucosa over here. And they call it specialized mucosa because they have the lingual papilla, right, which is gonna talk later. But the most important thing to know is that parakeratinized squamous epithelium is found in the mouth, and that's a normal condition. But in the skin, it's considered a pathology. That means it's abnormal. Okay. And that's the difference between the three types of oral mucosa. So now I'm gonna just summary over here. You have your lining mucosa, and the lining mucosa is found in the labial and the buccal mucosa. And in this case, is a very thick, non-keratinized. Remember, lining mucosa is always no keratin, right? They don't have the keratin layer. Then we have the alveolar mucosa. And the alveolar mucosa is thin, non-keratinized layer. The other structure is the ventral tongue. Ventral part of the tongue is also very very thin, non-keratinized layer, and the last part is the soft palate. And in the soft palate, we're gonna have a thin, non-keratinized layer. Okay, so the masticatory mucosa, it can be, remember, orthokeratinized or parakeratinized. Okay, so the masticatory mucosa we're gonna find on the hard palate, and it's gonna be a thick orthokeratinized. And then we have the attached gingiva, which is a thick keratinized that can be parakeratinized or orthokeratinized. Okay, we're gonna leave the tongue for the other video because I'm gonna give you more details.